Okay, so we got this little AR robot and he scans the ground with some shader graph effects in Unity, but it's not cool enough. Let's throw in this native plugin so we can talk to it. Start roll.
Initializing roll protocol.
Now let's give it a brain with a little Node.js, Python, and AIML. Hello?
Hi there.
Do you drink alcohol?
Fluids are not required by computers.
But I want him to actually do stuff. So let's add a call to wit.ai for NLP and add the Mapbox SDK. Show me New York City.
Loading map.
Now I know what you're thinking, but Matt, how am I supposed to watch No Neck Ed? Alright, let's make another Node.js script that calls to the YouTube API and then use this PHP script to extract the hard link to the video. Play No Neck Ed on YouTube.
Loading YouTube video.
I haven't seen broken nose since last night when I asked her to take the STD test.
It's perfect! Watch the rest right here.
Starting to feel real major around here.
Crash to the mountain top. Feel the fire inside. Light in the night sky.
Thank you, Three Beans, for following.
All right. Hi. Hi.
Okay, so we got this little AR robot and he scans the ground with some shader graph effects in Unity, but it's not cool enough. Let's throw in this native plugin so we can talk to it. Start roll.
Initializing roll protocol.
Now let's give it a brain with a little Node.js, Python, and AIML. Hello?
Hi there.
Do you drink alcohol?
Fluids are not required by computers.
But I want them to actually do stuff. So let's add a call to wit.ai for NLP and add the Mapbox SDK. Show me New York City.
Loading map.
Now I know what you're thinking, but Matt, how am I supposed to watch No Neck Ed? All right, let's make another Node.js script that calls to the YouTube API and then use this PHP script to extract a hard link to the video. Play No Neck Ed on YouTube.
Loading YouTube video.
I haven't seen her spoken the row since last night when I asked her to take the STD test.
It's perfect. Watch the rest right here.
Welcome to Rock the Block. Your host, John Block. We have a special guest in the building with us today, Mr. Ethan Berg of Agora VR. Ethan, how are you?
Doing great, thank you.
Thanks for joining us today. So Agora VR, I had a chance to experience it. It's pretty amazing. So tell everybody, tell us about Agora VR. Tell us about your vision and how it all got started.
Yeah, it sounds great. We actually recently changed the name to Agora World, just to kind of more bring that into concept. But I mean, ultimately, I guess I started this during my junior year sophomore year at Temple University. So I'm a recent graduate as of last May during the pandemic in 2020. And, I came to this vision because one of my really good friends graduated slightly before I did. And he moved across the country to California. I'm based in Philly. And we learned really quickly that outside of video games, FaceTime and video chat plus text and social media, there wasn't really a lot for us to bond over and to do together. So our initial vision was to build a virtual reality shopping platform where, retailers could build their own storefronts, upload 3D models of their products. You walk into a mall, you see other shoppers there at the same time as yourself. And, we quickly found out it was a novelty because Amazon has about 1 million options. Our stores had about 40. So, while it worked great, and it was a really immersive concept, we came to find out that the thing that really brought people together was that fact alone, was bringing people together and having something that you can truly experience together. So since then, me and my co-founder, Sky Knight, me and him actually have pivoted slightly last August to building an immersive social platform. So overall, it's an open 3D platform, and the goal is really to transfer the lonely, flat 2D experience that we have now into a living, breathing 3D ecosystem with an emphasis on real life experiences in a digital format.
Wow, that sounds really amazing. So what kind of events have you done so far and how's it going?
Yeah, I mean, it's going great, honestly. We've held things from, we held Philly Tech Week's opening event a couple of weeks back in conjunction with PACT, which was a phenomenal event. We had people from the Philadelphia community come to this event from Philly, LA, we had some in Japan that showed up, which was really awesome. So, we had face-to-face real interactions with people that you normally wouldn't be able to take part in this. We've held a career fair with Diversitech Summit back in March, 250 attendees. On average, they spent about 1 hour and 40 minutes within the platform itself, walking around, interacting with one another, meeting potential hirers, and then meeting potential candidates. And then from there, we've done art galleries, nonprofit fundraising events. We're dabbling in retail a little bit, and we're getting into tours now and classes and education.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. I say, and I had a chance to visit for Philly Tech Week, and it was really awesome. I had a chance to meet some new folks, swap some information and emails, and it was great. And I love how it really feels like you're right there in the experience, And those kind of social norms I see are still in place, right? So if it's a group of people talking, you don't necessarily want to just kind of, bum rush that group. You kind of wait your turn, or someone's walking by. So it's really cool in that way.
Yeah, much more fluid. I'd say it's we found that it's really natural is the thing. It's like you're used to it from real life. So even those that aren't technically the most technically sound, they're not the most adept at using this kind of stuff, they find out really quickly it's just like real life, and they're able to navigate and interact with people just as they would if they went to a physical location.
Yeah, very cool. So let's talk about features. What kind of features are embedded in this Agora world?
Oh man, there's a ton. I don't even know where to start. So I guess the main thing that we're doing is the foundation, right? So ultimately we're building that ecosystem. We had someone compare it to WordPress for 3D was the way they described it. Because as I said, we want this to be a community-led ecosystem. So I'd say at the core, which is what we've been focused on, is the ability to host 3D environments an infinite amount. The social interaction system, the fluid interaction, echo cancellation, cross-platform development, and then obviously some no-code customization tools, which I would say that's probably our biggest unique proposition from our standpoint. Is we've tried to make it so that anybody can create their own immersive social experience. I myself have no coding background, so if you asked me to change the color of something, there's no way I got that. I'd figure it out, but it's not my domain. Obviously, I would say as one of the lead designers on this team, and obviously along with my technical co-founder, we've curated a vision that will allow us to make it as simple as creating a Facebook profile to actually develop these spaces with simple walkthrough steps, uploading an image, uploading a product, video, typing a description, title, put a URL, and you select what slot it goes to. On that wall, I want it on slot 5, I want it on table 2, slot 37, and when you press save, our system will place it there for you. So you don't really have to understand how it works to begin reaping the benefits.
Wow, very cool, very cool. So this concept you had in mind prior to COVID?
Yeah, I guess so. We started the the shopping platform in 2019.
Okay.
So I guess we were a little ahead of the game. My dad used to bring home all the new technology. We were always into video games, me, him, and my brother. So he brought home the Oculus Rift, I believe, with an S.
Yes.
It was just, it's unbelievable. The Quest is another level now. And I think it just really opened my eyes to the possibilities of what you can really create and, again, experience with other people. That's the main thing that I'd say we've found is really lacking. What can you really share? What memories can you make with other people online?
Yeah, for sure. So what's you're definitely a visionary in what you're doing with the Agora world. So what is your vision of the future? How do you think, we are going to interact socially moving forward?
It's a great question. I think in-person's here to stay. Anyone that's kind of against that, I think is a little delusional, not to put a term on or label on anybody. But, I've heard a lot of other founders that are creating virtual event and those kind of platforms that have said, I love virtual events so much better. And in reality, it's just not true. Anyone that says that, again, they're lying to themselves. So I think that the way we're looking at it is that the online experience is lacking in that it doesn't feel real. And with the technology currently available, and I can't even imagine what's going to be available in the near future, but I feel as if we can kind of transform the online experience to be similar to that of in-person, but provide all the benefits of online. No geographical barriers. There's unlimited information that you can tap into at one given second. So it's a lot easier to curate that worldwide web network, I guess, that we're heading towards, the spatial web. But I do believe a hybrid space will be the main future. I can imagine 10 years from now, you go to a conference, there's an in-person experience and an online experience, and they're literally linked. In person, you're wearing AR glasses. Online, you're within the virtual metaverse. The space is identical. So you scan a 3D model of Philadelphia Convention Center, let's say. You put the booths in the same exact location, practically the same design, same exact space between all of them. so it feels real. And while they're walking through the space in person, they'd be able with the AR see those virtually walking past them in the digital format in the same geolocation. And those that are online using camera technology, crowd control, AI type stuff, they're going to get the biometrics of those in-person people to be scanned into the virtual world, so you can have that merged interaction. And I think that to me is inevitable. I don't know when it will happen, but I'm very excited for it to be the case. And I mean, I more look at it because at this point, we're a global ecosystem. We're a global community. I really don't like the geographical barrier side of things, because at the end of the day, we have people going to the moon. We're going to be sending people to Mars. So to say that we've got people in multiple worlds, yet our global community is not able to connect in a real way yet, is just, it's upsetting, I would say.
Sure. Yeah, that's really exciting. So let's talk about, end users for you, right? So what kind of end users are you looking for? Like who should go, seek out Agora World? Are you looking for the artists? You're looking for the business? You're looking for everybody? Who are you looking for?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, we want everyone to have access. That's why we're creating these no-code customization tools. Like there shouldn't be a technological expertise barrier or a money barrier. I mean, it's pretty expensive to get these things developed at this point. As you know, you're involved in all of these kind of things. So, I think the tools like you use CryptoVoxels, you use, VR chat. There's a lot of other platforms that have created an easier way to get it done, but you still need to understand how it works. So I would say for us, that main end user is the person who isn't into video games, the person that really doesn't know that this is possible yet. I mean, we've had 80% of our users have told us they've never done or seen something like it before. So while it's out there, the awareness isn't quite there, the exposure isn't quite there. But ultimately, I mean, I'd say our main clients that we're going after first are universities and corporate organizations.
So once again, Ethan Berg with Agora World. Appreciate you taking time to talk with us, Ethan.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, I'm going to grab a little bit of coffee, and I think we're going to jump right into CryptoVoxels today. For some reason, Decentraland is acting a little buggy, so maybe we'll try that out tomorrow. For a moment, let's check out this little clip. I'll be right back.
So I resent the question.
I beg
will
your
you,
pardon.
Will you rephrase it, please? Yes.
What are your political opinions? Have they been changed at all?
My political opinions have only been deepened.
1, 2. Yeah. Seems like the only thing I felt was universe love from start. So I was just trying to adjust the chart. I was just trying to fight for freedom. I was just trying to oppose the heathen. But I was was just trying to do what I must. But I was just do it all till I'm dust. But I was just trying to follow God's plan. I was just trying to cut off the upper hand. I was just trying to be Paul Robinson. I was just trying to stand for the brother man. I was just trying to be Paul
million people along the river. But there is only one man who will not run away when he sees the ostrich feathers of the old king's warriors.
And you are that one man.
I am the one man.
Trying to adjust the job, but I was just trying to fight for freedom. But I was just trying to oppose the heathen. But I was just trying to do what I must. But I was just do it all till I'm dust. But I was just trying to follow God's plan. But I was just trying to cut off the upper hand. I was just trying to stand for the brother man. I was just trying to be Paul Robinson. Just trying to be Paul Robinson. Just trying to be Paul Robinson. Just trying to be Paul Robinson.
So the idea of my concert is one suggestion that all men are brothers because of their music. And in my first group, I would say that my people will be very proud of mine or any other Negro actor appearing in such a part.
On the ground, and the man steps on my fingers and takes my nails off of my hand, and they're bleeding. And I become absolutely out of my mind. And the man comes by, and I'm about to tackle him, and I take him, and I'm gonna, as far as I'm concerned, I'm gonna kill him.
So I won't be singing, except for the rights of my people for the next couple of years. No pretty songs, gentlemen. No pretty songs. Time for some full citizenship. Understandable?
Robeson once said to me, he said, Harry, get them to sing your song, meaning the world, people. Get them to sing your song, and they will want to know who you are, 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 who you are.
Trying to be Paul Robinson. Trying to be Paul Robinson. Webster and scripted encyclopedia stated fact forward. He's a mechanic and he works with his hands. 3 kids, 1 wife, he's a pinnacle man. Won't change brick for sand, but stand like a soon come Kemet race again, it's forward. And that night I know he speaks with his tools. The pen to the paper to rectify the rules recited by these fools that they can master, not ceremonies but stools. And while cesspool deemed to redirect the goal, society chokeholds and pain that shall invoke. And as my man stands between fatherhood and his dream, the spirit speaks in God, you'll have all things, so move forward. You in a tight grip, rock just a little bit, roll yourself out of it forwards. Most of y'all wouldn't even believe what it really means to be in the seat, we move forward. You in a tight grip, rock just a little bit, roll yourself out of it forwards. Rest of y'all ain't about to pretend like you really know the struggles we bend, we move forward. So I don't want to vote, Mister. This
Okay, we're going to get started. We're going to just explore a little bit today. Today's music, we're going to do Kiss by the Sun Radio. House it up.
There will come a time.
Okay, here we go. We're all set.
When you will ask
And let's get out of here.
a series of questions. Am I happy with who I am?
Am I happy with who I am?
Am I happy with the people around me?
Am I happy with the people around me?
Am I happy with what I'm doing?
Am I happy with what I'm doing?
Am I happy with the way my life is going?
Am I happy with the way my life is going?
Do I have a life?
Do I have a life?
Or am I just living?
Or am I just living?
Do not let these questions restrain or trouble you. Just point yourself in the direction of your dreams. Find your strength in the sound and make your transition.
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 I spend too much time thinking and not enough doing? Did I try my hardest at any of my dreams? Did I purposely let others discourage me when I knew I could? Will I die never knowing what I could have been or could have done? Do not let these doubts restrain or trouble you. Just point yourself in the direction of your dreams. Find your strength in the sound and make your transition. Make your transition. Make your transition. There will be people who will say you can't, but you will.
You will.
There will be people who will say, you don't mix this with that. And you will say, watch me.
Watch me.
There will be people who will say, play it safe. That's too risky. And you will take that chance and have no fear.
No fear.
Well, in hell? This is hell? What the hell? Okay, what is this? This is crazy.
Why you want to change me? Why you waste your time trying to rearrange me. Ain't no misbehaving. You're so artificial, I can't even take it. Welcome to my world. I am not your plaything. Am I crazy or have I just gone insane? You keep playing your games, and the chaos of your mind will blow your brain. Welcome to my world. You must realize where we are to see where you will be. When your soul's exposed to me, we are together. You must realize where we are to see where you will be. When your soul's exposed to me, we are together.
Crypto art panda. I mean, what's the artwork? dots, man. So selling work. Let's see how much it is. Yeah, I've checked. It's very reasonable rates. Nothing crazy like 1 2 ETH. It's like 0.2 ETH for the average painting, so it's not bad. Let's check them out. It's a Blue Mind. Blue Mind. Blue Mindy 9. That's how I pronounce it. dry this morning. We're going to take a little break and jump over to Decentraland, see what's going on over there. So take a look at this Rock the Block while I get set up.
Okay, welcome to Rock the Block. I'm your host, John Block, and we are here for Low Key Giants Rock the Block. We have a special guest in the house, super excited about Mr. Craig Blackmore. How are you today, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, man. So happy that you are here. I've seen your work around the space. I've seen your work around Metaverse and crypto voxels and places like that. So it's great to actually see your face and talk with you today. I'm thinking like right off the bat, right? I've seen you do many things. I know, you built your venue. You're doing art, illustration. I see 3D. Are you doing music as well? So tell me about you being a multidisciplined artist. What's your creative outlets?
Well, it all started with like drawing comic strips. I love drawing comic strips, and I used to do that all the time when I was a kid. And in music, I used to write music lyrics in my notebooks all the time as well, next to drawing. Eventually, when I got older, like a teenager, I got into the production side of music and recording and things like that. And that's what really started all of the different creative directions. Is once I started to produce and record my own music, I wanted to film my own music videos. I wanted to direct the different projects that my music's going for, because I always wanted to score movies. So I started to learn about the production, the way to produce movies and write movies and scripts and things like that, and different camera techniques. I went to school a little bit for it. But yeah, it all started with me making the music and needing somewhere to put it without actually having to apply for record labels or find someone to give me the platform. I wanted to always create it myself. So that's really what led on to learning more and more. I'm like, okay, I need this now. I'm going to learn how to do this. I was a photographer, needed to learn how to retouch and edit and do all that. So yeah, I just filled in all the gaps with more knowledge. And now it's at a point where for bigger productions, I know how to hire people to take certain jobs because I've done them before. So yeah, I'm like, if I'm going to be an artist, I'm going to go all in, and I'm going to learn as much about creating and the creative process as I can. So that's what really started that hunger to learn new crafts and new mediums and things like that.
Wow, that's amazing. So, and we know that this, NFT blockchain space allows you, like you said, to express all of those different creative aspects. And so what did creation look like for you before blockchain and NFTs and this kind of technology?
Well, half of it went to creating things for fun, and the other half went to freelance work. I did a lot of freelance work for a while. I had some creative jobs, like I've worked for Live Nation before. I've worked for, I've done things for Xfinity, like for their advertisements, and it's cool. but you never really get paid what you deserve with that. So that's when I started to do freelance, and that opened me up to more job opportunities and whatnot. But for the most part, I tried to create my own art and then find places to sell it, or do like music videos, animations for music videos or things like that. And then whenever I wasn't working on a bigger project, I'd have time to do more of my like free, fun art that isn't for anything in particular. And that's where my best stuff is, obviously, because it's just my imagination, and I'm not trying to sell, a bag of chips with a crazy animation. So for the most part, yeah, it was work and then some free art, figuring out how to make the business work, a little bit of free art. And yeah, once NFTs came into the picture, my free art now had a higher demand again. I didn't have to necessarily put so much overhead payment to get the art ready to sell, because usually, you have to create it, make it perfect, print it out like 5 times to make sure the colors come right. Or if you make your own prints, you got to go through that process. Then you need the gallery space to display it, and then comes the person that purchases it. And it's just so much in between creating the piece and getting it to the person that NFTs kind of eliminated or made easier, especially when you do animations, because that's still not a typical thing, selling animations on screens or animations for people to just have for displaying purposes. So NFTs filled a lot of those gaps. And I've always been into VR, AR, and the metaverse, and seeing NFTs just solved so many gaps in my mind about monetization and digital goods or digital assets like cars and GTA that only 5 people can have. Something the same concept, but now it has a real world value. So all the money you put into your game or your virtual world is transferable to your fiat physical world, and that's just amazing. So that's what got me into it.
Wow, that's awesome. So what are some of your favorite platforms for exhibiting your work, spending time in, or just sharing it with an audience?
I'm kind of a rebel. So I loved OpenSea. I still love OpenSea. OpenSea is amazing because, it's like the index of everything on Ethereum. But Super Rare is great. I'm not going to lie. I love the kind of exclusivity of it. You're not going to have your art next to someone who just threw something together in an app and trying to sell it at a ridiculous price. It's more artists who kind of understand their own value, collectors who understand what they're looking for. So I really appreciate that about Super Rare, and I don't mind putting some of my, most valued stuff there. But other than that, I really like some of the alternative marketplaces like NFT Showroom on Hive. Ghost Market on Phantasma is really cool. And even Hick Et Nook or Hen on Tezos is pretty cool. It's just because, that one's really experimental, and it's really cool to see what a bare bones decentralized platform behaves like, because, a lot of the platforms we used to have been tested and they've been around for a minute. That's new, and that's really naked, and all the features of it are actually separate from the actual platform. So it's really cool to see what happens with that and what kind of art is placed there when only a few people know about it, things like that.
Low-key giant.
Well, I got into crypto in 2017 during the initial Bitcoin bull run, that first one. And I always held some tokens since then, but I kind of put the technology on the back burner because, it was over after the crash, and then everyone was like, all right, back to regular life now. And I was kind of the same way. But I remember during that research, I learned about different things or different ways that artists were using blockchain technology to authenticate their art via scannable stickers. And after things started to shut down in 2020, I was always prepared to go virtual. That was never a new thing. But I wanted to find a way to have an edge on it. And at that time, I was looking at other investments, other cryptocurrencies to get into. Ethereum was still under $200 at the time. And I was like, well, I know Ethereum's going to do great. So I got really into Ethereum and the technology behind it. And then when I started looking at art and Ethereum, OpenSea came up. And I was like, well, this is great. It's like Instagram, except you have the potential to actually make some money off of your own work versus Facebook getting to make all the money off your own work. So I threw some pieces on OpenSea to just see what happens. And a couple collectors. We have Pharaoh from NFT.Black was one of my first collectors. Lander was one of my first collectors. And after that, they kind of brought me into the game. Some taught me the ropes, taught me like what this really was. They're like, Pharaoh was telling me like, yo, you don't know what you just stepped into. He's like, yeah, it's art and all that, but dude, no, listen. And he was telling me about what was going on in Asia, because it was huge at the time in Asia, and how he was showing me different artists who would drop like a card series that would sell out in hours. And I'm like, what? I'm like, this is a thing? And so I was all in. I was like, there's nothing else going on in the world. Everything's locked down. So I'm like, I'm going to learn about this and I'm going to get into this because it makes sense for what I'm trying to do, bigger picture. And yeah, I haven't looked back since. It's been like at some point I was even dreaming about crypto stuff. You know, it was so much to learn and such a cool new world within a world. So I stumbled upon it.
That's amazing. Well, you're in this now and you're doing the thing. So what tips, like if you had to simplify it, right? Maybe like what 3 tips would you give to artists who maybe they're on the outside looking in and they're seeing you, wow, Craig's getting down. He's actually selling work and he's doing his thing. What like 3 tips would you give to a new artist?
Research. Do your own research for sure, because now that NFTs are as popular as they are, there's a lot of bad markets and there's a lot of good markets. There's a lot of projects that literally just came up 30 minutes ago and they're going to tell you that it's been there forever and that it's, flawless, when in reality, even the old markets aren't flawless. Be careful what you meant. Don't steal people's artwork and avoid scams. Protect your email address, because most people are open with their email, but in crypto, you need new identity. So you need new email, new phone number to work with, all that to protect you from what's out there, because it's still the Wild West and the scammers are lurking. Stay patient, because collectors, like I said, it's new. There's not 1 million NFT collectors yet. There's maybe 1,000. Artists are collectors too on the lower end, but like the actual whales who are collecting, it's only a few of them. So you got to be patient, especially if you're dropping expensive work. It may not sell now, but the blockchain knows the date that your work was minted, and that's important. The older it is, it still gets value, just like collectible coins. That's what you got to think of your artwork as. I look at it kind of like, this is the art that goes onto a collectible coin. So you're etching your art into this token, and this token allows you to attach music to it, allows you to attach digital goods to it, 3D objects to it. So yeah, it may take some time before the collector comes, but keep promoting yourself and keep your head up, because it can get crazy. You can create something that's so dope, and your friends can create some stuff that's so dope.
Yeah, but I lost track of the time. I was almost 9. So we won't get a chance to look at the Essential later today, but I promise, first thing tomorrow morning, we'll check it out.
But that's got nothing to do with you, so don't let it, deter you from getting involved and learning about it and finding your way to use it, because it's new. No one owns it. It's decentralized technology. So if you have a vision for it, this is where you can test it, because people got money and they're supporting ideas that are good. On Twitter, you can just ask someone to pop up. It's pretty cool.
Wow, that's really amazing tips. Everybody definitely
Ready to dive in? All right. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Metaverse, baby.